pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hello, everybody. Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is back with another special short episode. My name is Jordan Love.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. I'm excited.
Was that short?
Why are you excited?
Because I get to watch a trailer. Apparently, we're doing our first reaction video.
Sure.
Other than the cartoon we watched. But
the world loves reaction videos. They love watching people watch things. And we're going to get in on it.
This will probably be an epic fail, but I read a book. I remember saying last year about this book, Dune.
Yeah.
Supposedly, what I hear, greatest or highest selling sci-fi book of all time, 1968 or something like that.
I know it has a massive following, to this day.
There's more books in the series and stuff, but this is the one that started it all. And we always hear how it is not even able to be made into a movie. Like it would be very difficult to make it into a movie, even though they did that in the 80s. So there was the David Lynch movie in the 80s, and I had never watched that, but everybody says it's not great.
It's not good. I watched it.
Star-studded cast.
Yeah, I watched it as a kid several times because it used to be on HBO a lot back in the day, and I can honestly say I never understood it.
You didn't read the book,
right? I know. It's just first, I'm sure happy movie.
I'm sure it's kind of crazy. I watched a video about it yesterday after I finished the book. Didn't want to watch the new Dune trailer, but I wasn't worried about this. And I watched movies with Mikey, or it's called Film Joy or something now. I really like that guy. And he was talking about that and just how that they had cut the movie so much that it was just a bunch of random quotes they were saying, and you couldn't even hardly follow it real well and stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't. Definitely not.
I am a firm believer that I don't know what they're talking about that you can't make it into a movie. It doesn't. It's not that. It's a dense book, but it's not impossible to make it. I don't know. Anyway, but it's a very philosophical book. There are so many things I read in it that I was like, wow, that's a great line, something to really apply to your life. I mean, very, very, it's very mystical type, I don't know. It's not. Don't want to overhype it. It's a sci-fi book about a guy that's really good at stuff and stuff.
But
in the desert planet.
Yeah, desert
worms,
and there
spice.
Are spice and
melange.
There are different families. Is that right?
There's one thing that's neat about it is not like an alternate reality or universe or whatever. It started with Earth. You were supposed to assume this is just far in the future. These people in this movie probably don't even remember where Earth or what Earth even was. It's so far in the future. But basically it is technology is bad. They've finally realized where we are, or where we're starting to realize this, like Jordan, robots may be not good, and they're realizing maybe let's just try to use humans to the best of their abilities. And they started developing people with really good mind powers of, being more like someone is basically your computer. They can remember all these things and just ideas like that. For a time when the book came out, when probably all the sci-fi books were rockets and computers and everything, he went the other direction. It was like, that's not good. Let's do a different take. And basically the story was there's an emperor, big surprise. And there's different families The Atreides is the family we like. And,
I do remember that.
And Paul Atreides is the kid, and his mom is Lady Jessica, and she's a Bene Gesserit who is like one of this order of women and that have these special gifts. And his dad is Duke Leto, and there's a lot of politics, and he's given a new planet. They're leaving their planet of Caladan, which is very Earth-like, I think, to go to this desert planet that's crappy, but it's got the spice, and the spice runs the galaxy. It does it all. Everybody wants the spice, most expensive thing in the world, and it does everything. It's a drug, basically. And anyway, that's it.
Okay.
There's worms there. But he goes there, and it's all, the politics of people wanting the spice and things. But
I have zero history with this franchise. My older brother Justin was a big fan. I think he's read the whole series. I know the pop culture, the spice must flow. I know the references to it.
Yeah.
Sandworms and that kind of stuff, but I don't know the first thing about it. So
one thing
I'm open to a remake or whatever. I don't have any preconceived notions about it.
I'm super hyped for, I liked the book. I'm not over the moon, but I enjoyed the book. I think Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner, 2049, and a lot of other good stuff. He did Arrival. He's a great director, and there is nobody I would have picked over him to do this. I would think that he is the right man for the job. And apparently he's a big Dune fan anyway, so I'm excited for the thought of that. Before I read the book, only thing I've looked up about the movie is the cast. So I was just like, screw it, I'm going to know who the people are in this movie. So when I read this book, every time a new name came up, I looked at the cast, and that's who I was picturing. That way I'm not going to be like, look at the movie, that's not how I imagine it. Yes, that's exactly how I imagine it.
That's like a human computer, man. You're programming yourself. Yeah. That's where we're going, man.
So when I see the trailer, I'm going to know who everybody is, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah, the cast is super impressive. Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca
perfectly
Ferguson,
cast.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac,
exactly how I pictured it.
Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, Charlotte Rampling, Jason Momoa, Javier Bardem, and many, many others.
Yeah. Sounds good. So let's see this trailer. I'm hyped.
So what are the rules? Are we talking over it or just watching it?
I'm talking because I'm going to go. You guys know that meme of from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Leo DiCaprio going, ooh, ooh, that's me. I'm going to be like, no, there's that. I think. There better be a talking baby.
Oh, okay. Can you guys all see my screen at the moment?
We can. And if you're a patron of Ka-Pow the Pop Culture Podcast, you can see it as well. It's only $1 a month. You get access to the videos of these Zoom calls we make and our secret Facebook page. On to the show.
Okay.
Cliff's liable to share this one to everybody. If this plays. I'm psycho.
There's something happening to me. There's something awakening in my mind. I can't control it.
Johnny.
Did you see? There's a crusade coming.
Hello, Aunt Peru.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box.
Dom Jabbar.
And you die.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
You inherit too much power.
Brought to you by
You have proven you can rule yourself. Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.
My father rules an entire planet.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap.
This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
Got your still suits on. My man.
An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
Pink Floyd is a cool touch.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Remember the blue eyes from the 80s?
Oh, the Freeman got them blue eyes.
One day, the legend will be born.
Oh, God.
All of civilization depends on it.
So they switched that from a guy to
I see
girl.
it.
I love the song.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
Spice Malone.
My Lord Duke. Where the fear is gone,
Duncan, Idaho.
only I will remain.
Yeah, it's like his whole mantra, the fear.
Go, go, go!
Oh, man. The Maker. Oh, my God.
Looked like a giant anus.
Wow.
So that was a thing.
I like any movie with underground worms in a desert, so I'm going to go watch it.
Aye. If it had freaking at the end, Michael Gross. Well, first
Found them
off,
residual boulders.
that was a killer version of that song playing or whatever over the whole thing. It looks
Epic.
It looks epic. Kind of shook.
And we talk about, this movie could never be made. Okay, well, are you talking about 70s availability or 80s? Like,
Well, I mean,
nowadays,
they've
we
been
can
saying
do
it this whole time, just like that it's too dense. It's too dense. No, I mean, settle down.
That's what
So-
I'd always heard from these fans of Dune. That there's all these different books, and it's such a huge.
You're just doing the first book.
Right.
They're not going to do any more books. They're not going to do any more.
I think that was part of the
They could
criticism.
do like
from
they could do a TV series or something and go through the whole
Mhm.
thing or whatever. It could be extremely Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think that was part of the
Duncan,
criticism.
Idaho could go back to eating horses and stuff, just like in Game of Thrones.
The 80s movie was it tried to be too much. It tried to have too many books in there.
There
I
was no
think-
baby. Should be a talking baby.
Well, that was the fan hope for the Stephen King Dark Tower books, because it's like, oh, there's too much mythology, you'll never get it in a movie. We'll add comic books and TV shows and spinoffs and podcasts and the flamethrowers, and we'll just make everything happen. And that didn't happen. So if this is just a big action spectacle and it leaves out all the philosophy and the deeper thinking behind it, like
Right.
Dark Tower movie did, it was just a gunfight, then the fans won't be happy. It might still be a big blockbuster movie, but the hardcore novel fans won't enjoy it.
Some criticism. I felt a little of it when I'm reading the book, but this kid is great at everything, and some people are like, oh, it's a little Mary Sue-ish as he's just can do everything. It's but the difference is he's was trained from every angle his whole life or whatever. It wasn't just he just woke up and was great at stuff. And I don't think it's a spoiler. So you find out very early on, first chapter or whatever, that they the women these Bene Gesserit women can like see the specific ones like Reverend Mothers can just like see the everything that any woman had ever seen before them and stuff, and and that they can't access the Y chromosome. They can't see what the men have seen in the past and things, and it's like, is he going to be the one that could possibly be the guy? Well, of course, they wrote a book. He's the guy. Anyway.
Brings balance to the force.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
But that looks like the best version you could do of this book. What's happening there? So I'm excited.
Cool. All right, we did
Don't
it.
know when it was supposed to be this Christmas. Who knows if it still is? Might be pushed back to next year, I'm guessing. We'll see.
All right, we will keep you up to date on any news, and we'll for sure review it once it does finally arrive. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.